Welcome back to the Gamer Muscle YouTube channel, your home for virtual reality, driving simulators and playing computer games with the wrong equipment. In this video, I'm going to be telling you 5 important life lessons that Rocket League can teach us. Not only that, but once you know these life lessons that Rocket League has taught us, you will actually be better at Rocket League and have more fun playing it. Unbelievable! Put your tea bag in the teacup and click that subscribe button. Incredibly important life lesson number 1. Being positive makes for a more enjoyable time. Now this might seem pretty damn obvious, but it's reflected in Rocket League perhaps more than any other game, especially if you're playing 2v2 or 3v3. Instead of using the chat as a sarcasm communication device, actually use it to congratulate your teammate when they do something well, apologise when you do something bad, and let your teammate know it doesn't matter when they do something bad. Even if it was almost entirely your teammate's fault and they did something really stupid, instead of being a bitter biscuit about it, just assume that it was an accident on their behalf and use the ups chat message to convey to them the fact that this isn't indeed the World Cup final and it doesn't actually matter and you're just here to have fun. And indeed the same applies to life. Be critical, try to get better, try and improve yourself, but at the same time, don't be a miserable bastard about it. Absolutely earth-shattering life lesson number 2. Don't give up when things go bad. In the background, you'll have noticed I was a pathetic goalkeeper and just let the ball float into the goal as if it was a Ukrainian supermodel coming to give me a hug. Of course, that's not the optimal way to play the game, but what's even worse is the teammate decided to do the old protest forfeit. Other things you'll see in this category of very annoying but lessons you'll learn from playing Rocket League are players that seemingly lose the ability to find the throttle pedal or the ability to play the game at all just because they're a couple of goals down. As it is in life, there's no point forcing a losing situation when there's still a chance for it to be a winning situation. You've not lost until you've actually lost, and you've not won until you've actually won. So you might as well keep plugging away and trying your best until you die. Borderline mind-exploding life lesson number 3. Attitude affects how others play the game. It turns out if you're hypercritical, hyper-sarcastic and hyper-negative, your teammates will play worse than if you're easygoing and encouraging. You can still identify what you're doing wrong and what the other person's doing wrong, but how you go about that is really quite important. In almost all occasions, a bit of humility, humour and understanding will go a long way to not only make your teammate play better, but actually just make the game and life more enjoyable. That said, it's easier said than done, and the Darth Vader in us is always wanting to come out. Fortunately, with Rocket League, unlike life, there's a good way to keep Darth Vader locked inside his hyperbaric chamber. And that is to imagine that your fellow teammates are maybe suffering from a disease, live in the United Kingdom, or worst of all, playing the game on a games console. Mildly arousing life lesson number 4. It's hard to get out of the low ranks. When there's a new season or you've had a bit of a sabbatical from playing Rocket League, sometimes you find yourself in the lower ranks. Despite your skill level potentially being 10 times that of your fellow teammates and opponents, it can be really hard to actually get out of those low ranks and into the higher ranks. It's almost as if the environment you're in greatly affects the performance that you're capable of achieving. Sure, it's possible to get out of those low ranks and level up by yourself, but it's so much easier should you have a moderately skilled friend to help you do it, even if as a result you're ranked with other people of a higher skill level. What this teaches you about life is that it's important to surround yourself with people that are good, and to appreciate that some people have the fortune to be born with good people around them, and other people don't. Absolutely crazy life lesson from Rocket League number 5. If there were anything demonstrated in Rocket League which is at the top level of frustration, it is this. Bad players don't realise they're bad. It turns out that generally speaking, you have to be good at something to have enough knowledge of that thing to know that you're bad at it to then get better at it. This is rather unfortunate because it means there's lots of people out there that are excruciatingly bad at things but don't realise it and will blame everybody else for their shortcomings rather than identify the problems that they themselves are causing. This is known as the Dunning-Kruger effect, and unfortunately, when it comes to real life, it's even worse than Rocket League. Not only because Rocket League is a game and it doesn't really matter, but Rocket League actually has a fairly structured and fairly decent ELO ranking system that separates the totally incompetent players from the fairly decent players. Unfortunately, the real world doesn't work like that, and there's a surprisingly high number of people that have managed to get into incredible positions of power while still being utterly incompetent, and worse yet, totally unaware that they're utterly incompetent. Mind you, I definitely think ignorance can be bliss. Once you actually know how deep and complicated something can be, you then realise that you're probably never going to actually be good at it. At the end of the day though, we've got tea bags and pizza, so it's not that bad. Wow, that's incredible! We've learnt so much about life from a video game. Who could have thought it? Well, that's it really. Those are the 5 points. There's nothing more to be said, other than the fact that I will ignore everything in this video. I'm a total hypocrite, and the only reason I've made this video is so that if you all follow it, the game is better for me. And that's all that matters in the end. So, on that note, of course you have already clicked the subscribe button because I said so at the beginning of the video, and now I've said it twice. You know, why wouldn't you have done that? It's just obvious, really. So, do that for the 3rd time. Likey dislikey. Let me know in the comment section what incredibly wise nuggets of wisdom you guys have gathered from Rocket League or indeed other games. I've made the world a better place, my job's done, I can die happy. Until the next video, so I'm going to have to revive myself from the grave to make another video. But until then, take care everybody, have a good day, afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you are on the earth. Goodbye.